Sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. Then he felt alone and wished that he'd gone straight and watched out for that simple twist of fate. Walked along by the old canal, a little confused, I remember when they checked into a cheap hotel with the neon burning lights. He felt the heat of the night hit him like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. He woke up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself that he didn't care. Through the window, open wide, felt the emptiness inside, to which he just could not relate. Plain old simple twist of fate. A saxophone.
Okay, let's pause for a second here. So let me show you the melody. Fifth. Up to the root. So if you listen,
You sat together
that's the fifth.
in the park
Fifth again.
as the evening sky grew dark.
Hang on the fifth again.
She looked at him he'd gone straight
to the root.
and watched out for that simple twist.
So the first thing I'm looking for is that melody, because that is the cheat code to get the kind of the essence of the song. You know, if you play the chords, just finding it, you know, simple. And then deep down, 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 down. You know, I'm trying to find that simple melody and the way it goes over the chords. So it's mostly hanging on in the fifth. And then D7. And then when it does this move, baby down, brown, brown, goes up to the root, which is a D there. And then make way for that simple twist of fate. You can kind of interpret that differently, however you want, but make way for that. Let's see what he sings.
And watched out for that
And watched out for that
simple
simple
twist of fate.
twist of fate. 3, 2, 1. Make
And watched out for that
watched out for that simple twist of fate. So I could practice playing just the melody, so I have a little sense of kind of what I'm trying to get across. I could practice that for a while, and then I could practice the different arpeggios that you could play. So like I was doing before, I've got D major. That's just the notes in the D major chord. And you're just playing that across the guitar. He does this thing where he goes up to the third and he goes. This is a Jerry-ism. You emphasize whatever the chord tone is, or some note, by climbing down to it. But you know, the first chord is D, so you could learn, and that'll give you the notes in the chord. And then the next arpeggio you could use is either a D major 7, or you could take out the D note and just do an F sharp minor arpeggio like this. And then you play a D7 arpeggio, which is a D major like this, but you add the 7th. So if this is the D major arpeggio, the 7th is like the flat 7, the dominant 7, which is what the chord is. That note is always just 2 semitones below the root. So if the root is here, and this is the triad, then you want to add 2 notes below the root. And if the root's here, then you add 2 notes below there, and you get this. That's a dominant 7 arpeggio. 7, root, 3rd, 5th, 7, root, 3rd, 5th, 7, root, 3rd, 5th. So you can play that anywhere. You just have to know what the notes are. It's the root, 3rd, and 5th, but you add the flat 7. So you can play that over that D7 chord. You can also play over that D7 chord a D mixolydian scale, which is a D major scale. But you take that 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you flatten it 1 when you play the scale. So if I played up and down, it would be. So anytime I hit the 7th of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I flatten it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I flatten it. and I'll show you what those three sounds are like. So I'm going to do D major arpeggio, D major 7, D7 arpeggio, and then over the G, you could play like G major pentatonic, or you could just stay on that D Mixolydian scale. Actually, that's probably the way to go, is stay on the D Mixolydian scale. So check it out. D major arpeggio, F sharp minor, D7, D Mixolydian. And then over the G minor, we do G harmonic minor. I just trial and error found that sounded good. G harmonic minor. So G harmonic minor is just you do a G minor scale, but when you play the 7th of that, you make it sharp. So it would be a G minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sharp 7. You can play it there or there. I'll try to flash the scales and the patterns on the screen here, but here's like a little G harmonic minor. The reason why I found that sounded good, because it leads really well to that D major chord. So check it out. Here's the G major, G minor harmonic, and then I'm just leading into a D major chord. So anywhere you have a D major chord, any one of the notes, you can walk up to it. So like, for example, on this chord, the 3rd, do, re, mi, is on the bottom, and I like chromatically walking up to the 3rd, and when it goes to the 5 chord, which is A, you can do it like a normal A chord, but what I like to do is walk down to like an A7 chord like this, and chromatically walk to the 7th of the chord. So you get this kind of cool move. You walk up to the D, walk down to the A, and then walk back up to the D. And then at the very end of the progression, it does like it goes from the D to the G, D, A. Bum, 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 bum. So we've got, and then we can do an F sharp minor arpeggio or a D major 7 arpeggio. It's mostly F sharp minor arpeggio, but I found it kind of helpful to think in terms of D major 7, because I know that shape really well. But you don't really want to emphasize the D note that much. You kind of want to emphasize more those F sharp minor notes. Another way to play that F sharp minor arpeggio is this. As long as you're hitting those notes in that chord, and then we got the D7, hitting the notes in that chord, and then we get a G major chord where we can still play D Mixolydian, and then the G minor, we hit G harmonic minor, goes to the D, the F sharp minor, and the G, and when it does that thing, I just emphasize the chords D, A, D. And you can walk back up to the D. Bum, 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 bum. And I found a cool way was harmonizing it. And then there's this. This is like a, I guess it would be a C sharp diminished. That is a good way to lead back into the D. So let me show you a little bit more on here. You could do that D major arpeggio. You can also do kind of like a D major pentatonic. Something like then that F sharp minor, D7 or D mixolydian, and over the G you can stay on that D mixolydian. You can also just do G major, those little 3 chords. It works over any major chord, but then when it goes to the minor, D major, the chords, F sharp, sorry, G, G minor. On the G minor, I find doing this G minor 9 is nice. So let me show you. D7 to the G. G minor. I like doing the you know, if you're a G minor, if you put the second in it, it becomes a G minor 9. And I like to emphasize that note there. Here's the G major. There's that minor 9. And then I'm just emphasizing D. Then it does F sharp minor. And then G. So what is that? I'm outlining a D chord, outlining an F sharp minor chord, and then I'm walking up to a G chord, and I'm walking up to the 3rd of the chord chromatically. Then when it goes to that minor, I have like this I just like these 3, and then outline the D, outline the F to the G, and then D, A, D. So how would you do that? D, A, 7, and then resolve to the D. So it's all about thinking, you know, it's about thinking more than it is playing, because if you can kind of think about what you're doing, you know, if I'm on a D and I'm going D, A, D, I'm thinking D, A, and if I add the A7, it's, and then I want to resolve to a D, I go, where's the note in the D chord, the notes in the D chord? Well, that's one of them. So I could stay there, but I'm just looking at like this D. So I'm going D, A, D. So it's a little bit hard to explain, but hopefully you gain something out of what I'm kind of showing there. So I'll close out this video by just playing a little bit and kind of talking as I go. D, A, D.
a cheap motel with the neon burning bright. He felt the
Emphasize
heat
the
of
nine.
night hit him like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate.
Thinking about the chords. Emphasize the fifth. You can stay on the fifth. You can stay on the fifth again because that's what the melody does. And then it goes up to that G. Then it makes that minor. D, F sharp minor, then G. And at that little turnaround at the very end, you could play like a D blues lick. D, A, D, we can go D, A, D. I could play the blues. One, three, four. Blues.
He woke up, the room was bare.
We'll see you guys in the next video.
He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself that he didn't care. Through the window, felt the emptiness inside, to which he just could not relate. Blaming on simple twist of fate. A saxophone.